Exciting. Hi, so it's Bex, founder of Mum's Instinct, and it's 4 years since we had a baby together. So we've come on today to talk about our experience 4 years ago. So I'm Bex, and this is...
I'm Lee.
Lee. Lee is the father of both my children, and we did the Wise Hippo birthing programme together with my mum, who was my second birth partner. We started the preparations, it was around June, wasn't it?
Yeah.
2013. So I decided and did lots of research that I wanted to prepare for birth in a slightly different way, and said to Lee I wanted to do this thing called hypnobirthing, because back in the day that's what it was called.
I was very sceptical.
Why was you sceptical?
I don't know, just the whole hypnobirthing, it sounded a bit hippy-grippy, really.
Hippy-grippy?
Hippy-grippy.
He used to take the mickey and call it hypno-doc.
Yeah, but it's quite interesting. At the time I was really quite sceptical, but then I saw how it worked, and at the end of the day it was all about what was going to make Bex happy. Bex is happy, baby's happy, I was happy.
So we did quite a bit of practicing, and I was your normal on the go, could not stop. I wouldn't go as far as saying manic, but I probably was manic. No, I've got a lot of energy. I'm a very energetic person. I'm 100 miles an hour or nothing. That is me. And when I was pregnant, I still felt that I was Superwoman and could do everything, and didn't want anyone doing anything for me. And it took a long while for me to start asking for help and asking for people to do things. And I think the Wise Hippo actually enabled me to start asking and building my team and saying to people, can you do this for me? And can you come and help me? And can you do this? And I think that it really helped. But I was very much a night owl. I was not going to bed till really, really late. And the birth partner script, well, how did you use the birth partner script to make me sleep?
Yeah, it's quite funny because I used to read it and get Bex into a nice comfortable zone and just calm her down about 3 degrees, you know. And obviously there was the massages as well, and it was quite useful for me to kind of have my own sort of plan, because you know, being new to being a father, I was terrified what to expect, what was going to happen. And yeah, we did an NCT course which talked about the more mechanics of it, but it didn't really get me prepared mentally or emotionally, whereas the Wise Hippo program did. And it gave me all tools that then I could use when Bex was sort of in that zone on the day, when she was in that zone and really kind of happy where she wanted to be. I had to sort of take charge and step up and take control and ensure that she had the birth that she wanted.
So we're going to go back to early hours of the morning on the 12th of October 2013. Lee had just started a job and been in a job for 2 weeks, and it was the beginning of half term. And no, it wasn't even, it was a week before half term. Week before half term, and it was a Friday night, and I'd had a lovely massage. Pippa Berger had been round and given me a lovely aromatherapy massage, and it was really bizarre because my energy levels were huge. She did a bit of Reiki. We managed to turn my TV on without having any remotes or anything. The energy was just, and I think I was quite, I think you came home from work and I just finished the massage, and yeah, I was just buzzing. That evening at 2 o'clock in the morning, my waters broke. So I had, because I was home birthing, had one of those massive mats that I then went and put on the bed, which I think, I don't know if I was sleeping on that anyway, but I put that down, and I was tending to myself, and I was laying in bed and I was twitching, and he's giving to me.
Let's go down, go back to sleep, it's fine.
Oh, my waters are gone, I'm not surging, just go back to sleep. He's like, what, I can go back to sleep? I was like, yeah, nothing's happening. So he went back to sleep, and I got up at 7 o'clock with a massive gush of more waters, and it was a gush. And that's at that point I decided, right, okay, I'll call the midwives. So I called the midwives, and they were asking all the questions, like I rang the triage ward, and they were asking, are your waters clear? What do they look like? What do they smell like? All these lovely gory questions that it's not gory at all. And I was saying, well, they're clear, and I'm home birthing, so they're saying, no, you've got to come into hospital. And I'm like, I'm home birthing, I'm not coming into hospital to be checked. Well, that's how I put current procedure. And I was like, no, I'm home birthing. You've got duty midwives, that community midwives, why can't they come out and check me at home? So they put a note and said, no, you've got to come in. So I rang the what were then called supervisors and midwives.
No, you didn't ring.
No,
Did you not?
No, that's the following day.
Oh, right, okay.
Get it right.
Okay. Yeah.
So I rang the supervisors and midwives and said to them, right, and got a lovely midwife on the phone and said to her, right, my waters have gone, I'm home birthing, I don't really want to come into the hospital. And she said, well, actually, we were discussing this in a meeting of supervisors and midwives yesterday anyway, how we feel it's quite ridiculous that mums have to come into hospital when they're actually home birthing. And what she did and advocated for me was arrange for 2 community midwives to come out and see me. The midwives that were on duty for that day, one was going off duty and one was coming on duty, so that they could check my temperature. They couldn't do an examination because my water's gone and I wasn't surging at that point, so that was a risk factor. They didn't want to examine and put anything in that area that could cause an infection. So we did that. They came out and checked I was alright, checked my temperature. I was home birthing. My next door neighbours were being quite noisy, which is not unusual. So we decided, my sister and I decided, right, we've got tickets for the Blue Water baby show. And my sister decided, right, okay then, we'll go to the baby show. So me, my sister, her husband, Lee, all trundled off to the baby show, with me changing my pad quite regularly because I was still leaking little bits of water. But I thought it'd be a good way of just getting my oxytocin. Like, for me, I'm an active person, so for me to be relaxed, I'm doing activity. I'm not wanting to relax, zen, lay down, not do anything. For me to be relaxed, I'm moving, doing things and active. So we went round the baby show, we bought our cheeky wipes, last few minute purchases,
Yep.
a clip for the buggy, a foot muff, which got used for all but a few months, if that.
Twice, maybe.
It went on my sister's buggy, which we didn't buy a buggy. So yeah, we bought these essential purchases which I had to buy. And there was a few things that I had to buy 2 days before actually my waters broke. I think I took Lee, dragged him around Blue Water saying, I need this blackout blind, I need this, I need that. And he was like, what's going on? Please don't go into labour yet, because I've only just started work. We've got another week till half term. Can you not wait till half term to have this baby?
Hold on.
Baby, he was due 30th of October, and he decided to come we finally gave birth to him on the 13th. So that we had lunch. I spilt miso soup all the way down my belly, scalding hot, and we were like, we was at Yo Sushi, they were like, should we call the medics? Like they wanted to call the first aid people. I was like, no. I didn't tell them that my water's gone. I was like, no. So we just put some cold compresses on it, and it was fine. And you were like starting to laugh and joke. Let's call the baby miso, and I was like, no, miso, really? But we were thinking, we had some quite out there names like Merlin. We were thinking about Merlin. We had Zachary and Louis, and we didn't know what it was called. So we went home, and to try and get my oxytocin up, my mum and dad came round. We watched a funny film. We had an Indian, didn't we? They had an Indian takeaway, funny film. I was leaning over the birth ball. Surgeries were starting to happen, but just not regularly. My parents went about midnight because nothing was happening, and I went and had a bath, laid on my belly. I had done a lot of research, and then we discussed induction, because when the midwife came round, she actually said, we've booked you in for 8 o'clock tomorrow to come into hospital for an induction. And I was like, no, why would I want to come in for an induction? They're like, well, our policy is for 24 hours after the waters go, we book you in for an induction. We only do inductions in daytime hours, so you would need to come in for 8 o'clock in the morning. We considering your waters went at 2 o'clock in the morning, so when we've booked you in for 8 o'clock, that's more than 24 hours. So we're already being lenient on the timings. So I had already done my research. I had spoken to AIMS. I had spoken to a friend who ran a home birth group. She had sent me lots of statistics and information. There's actually research that shows mums can go up to 96 hours if they choose. If a woman's waters, if you get a premature ruptures of membranes, a woman at 26 weeks onwards, they leave that woman with her waters broken and monitor levels and get her to drink loads and give her antibiotics and monitor. So if they're able to do it then, why can't they do it at 37 plus 5 I was. Yeah. So I was like, no, I'm quite happy. I've not got temperature. So we decided, so we'd set the alarm for 7 o'clock the following morning. I presented Lee with this massive of information and said to him, right, it's your turn, you're now an advocate. You're my advocate, you know what I want. Go and do the call. So what happened?
Yeah, whirlwind, absolute whirlwind. And it was early hours, it was just panic stations because...
Why was it panic stations?
No, it wasn't panic stations. It was like, it was D-Day. It's happening.
7 o'clock in the morning on the 13th.
So then it was a case of ringing the midwives at Darren Valley.
You spoke to the supervisor midwife. You spoke to Carol, didn't you?
Yeah, awesome lady.
She's retired now.
She basically taught me through, calm me down a little bit and got me focused, and I was very clear what Bex wanted and what was going to happen. And then, what time did they arrive? Was it something like 9 o'clock?
No.
I can't remember what time they arrived.
No, you rang to say that I wasn't having my induction.
Yeah.
Mixing,
that was the first thing.
You're
first
mixing
thing
the
was
birth
just, yeah. Was to say quite clear that she wasn't having her induction, and Carol was very supportive. She was saying, yeah, that's quite within your rights, and she was talking statistics and saying, in terms of risk and all the rest of it, it was okay, and it was quite. She was very positive and put my mind at ease, and I felt better prepared. And then it was a case of making sure Bex was ready and happy and checking on her.
So I wasn't in labour. I wasn't surging when Lee came down and made the telephone call. But by the time he got back up to the bedroom, which was probably, you were on the phone for about 45 minutes now, weren't you? It was quite a long time.
Yeah.
So by the time he got up to the bedroom, I was starting to have surges, and they were quite intense and quite strong, and I wasn't able to stay still for them. And it was quite early in the morning, so I was surging, and Lee was like, shall we snuggle up and go back to sleep? And I really wasn't feeling the ability to go back to sleep.
No.
We waited until about 10:30, and I think was having 3 surges in 10 minutes. So the NCT had told us 3 surges in 10 minutes, you must call the hospital. So we called the duty midwife, well, you called them, and she came out, and we were lucky that who turned up was the aqua natal teacher, Michelle, who's also now quite high up in the management at the hospital as community midwife, and she came and checked me, and she was like, you're about 2 centimetres, carry on with what you're doing, and I'll probably come back and check you about 5 o'clock to see how you're going, but if you need me before that, just call. So she went off, all the excitement, I think you feel fear and excitement feel the same, and I just relaxed and things started to slow down a bit. So I tried to go back. You wanted to go to sleep, we wanted to cuddle up, but I couldn't. I just needed to be active because me to be relaxed, I have to be active. So I was in the hallway rocking, let Lee go back to sleep because he hadn't had much sleep and he just started the job. And you came down to me about 1 o'clock in the bathroom. Right, so 1 o'clock in the bathroom. I've got my earphones on. I'm on all fours on the bathroom floor, rocking, working with my surges, really sort of going with the flow.
Bex.
And Lee comes in and was
Bex.
like,